Well, welcome to the Lincoln Town Car. This is a 2003 Lincoln Town Car Cartier. And we are going to show you how nice and quiet it is. Alright, so hopefully rush hour traffic isn't bad. So for a car that's almost 30 years old, they're getting harder and harder to find. But as you can tell, this is why people buy these cars. That right there, that doesn't make any noises. But back in 2003, they had all the knickknacks that you have now, pretty much. The Apple CarPlay was an aftermarket edition that was done in this car's lifetime. The radios with these vehicles, when they get this old, they tend to just go out on their own. It's just natural. So with an Apple CarPlay, you can hook up your phone and you will get the actual satellite navigation is what they would call it. We can hook that up right now because I am not using my phone to record, and we'll see what that does. Alright, so we're heading out into the main drag, about 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, so we'll hit the gas and see what you can hear. Here we go, almost wide open throttle. Let's call it 75%. And we're at 55. So it's quiet, it's comfortable. Hitting all these bumps are absorbed well, especially in a vehicle that's, we're 3 years shy of 30 years old, so let's call it a 27-year-old vehicle. And this one's got about 150,000 miles, so it's about half lived. People can drag these cars out to maybe 300. This is the same platform as a New York taxi. I mean, people have actually probably rented these to go to their prom or something, you know, right? But just a nice car. They don't make them like this, you know. You tend to appreciate these old cars. They were just put together very well. There was no, you know, skimping on quality back then, or at least for the model of the vehicle, as you would expect with like a Mercedes-Benz. But even those cars, even nowadays, they skimp on the quality. So as you can see, leather all around.
So soft.
Basically, automatic lights, cruise control. It is actually a wood steering wheel. This, from what I've done my research on, is real wood.
Sure is genius.
Whether it's underneath here real wood, I don't know. I'm not willing to take it apart. The normal thing for these vehicles is 4.6 Panther body. Main thing to go wrong would be the intake manifold. This specific one, I believe this is the second intake manifold from what I can tell. Back, I want to say 2003, 2004 is when they started putting on the aluminum crossover tube, and this vehicle did have it when it was purchased, but it could have been a replacement, because they tend to go wrong when they're all plastic within at least 80,000 miles. They start to leak. That's when you start smelling the coolant. From researching and then finding this vehicle, it was a pretty clean example of a survivor that was taken care of by your grandma. Grandma's kind of gross though. Don't let her off the hook that easy. A lot of nasty, sticky spooge just on all the touch buttons. Sticky. I don't know, but I replaced the buttons on the passenger side over here because it seems like the spooge did actually kill the button control. I was able to take apart all the buttons on the master control here, clean it up. You can see all the up and downs after that. Here on the steering wheel is actually very common because the rubber's very sticky to anything, and it'll get covered in human goo. And it's all I can say is goo. Same goo was all over this wood, this faux wood plastic we have on each corner of the car. Took off some of that clear coat that they put on it, but it still looks pretty good. And then the only other common thing with these vehicles that seem to never survive is these handles. Being a tradesman, I can tell you, America's built on self-tapping screws. Buildings are put together with just self-tapping screws. Hey, don't take my word for that. Probably not true, but believe me, a lot of self-tapping screws and everything. They work for whatever it is, but after some time, they come loose. And that's what happens with these, is there's actually an insert that holds your self-tapping screw. And pulling on this, children, people who just kind of just have crazy strength, they'll rip these off for some time. These have been repaired on the two doors that we have here. Definitely one of those ones that you don't want to break, because these plastic covers here, hard to find. They just clip on. These are glued on, and then the screw, no matter what you do, you got to take everything off this door panel to put that handle back on.
Garbage.
Really not fun.
I said garbage.
Especially when it's just the handle that comes off. Well, let's take a minute and listen to this quiet ride.
We are now approaching your destination. Please stay seated.
And really, I only hear the wind noise coming from this weather stripping that's on this door. That'll be something that I will tackle and see if any silicone penetrant will actually expand the seal and maybe seal it up. Worth a shot. Even AT205 might do it. Maybe it's ATP205. I'll figure out the chemical and I'll let you know. Alright, we're going to do our 0 to 60 right now. There it is.
It's not a race car.
The transmissions in these Lincoln Town cars were built a little different. It seems like the programming is a bit softer compared to the other platforms. Well, I can't say platforms. The other models of this platform. They're just programmed a little different to be a little bit smoother. From what I understand, that actually wears out the clutches prematurely. And when I say prematurely, we're talking probably like 150, 170,000 miles. I haven't seen many of these cars in my experience actually see transmission failures unless people beat the heck out of it. But realistically, I only ever see alternators, wiring from the alternator to the starter or battery go bad. And that's because the battery terminal or the wiring in that general time of Ford, the wiring was cheap. And the intake manifold. That's really it. That's all that really ever go wrong on these cars. The air suspension in the back, that's a common wear part because it's always modulating. So you can't, it's hard to say that that's a failure point because it's it wasn't designed to last forever. No car is designed to last forever. And engineers really don't look into the future of 10 years. Maybe they did back then, but even now they do not, and you know they do not. And this is just one of the cars back in the day that they just did right. Just a beautiful afternoon, about 55 degrees. That's just a nice cruise. So another element that added to these vehicles and being quiet and handling well is going to be their Michelin tires that they came installed with from the factory. I believe this is a Michelin Defender, and these types of tires are very soft. They are an all-season, but on the softer side, so alignment issues will chew up these tires pretty quickly. And that just gives the quiet, comfortable, low exterior noise ride. But it will probably take about 2,000 miles, 3,000 miles to chew up these tires if your alignment's really out. You'll start to see some wear that's irregular. And depending on how bad it is, it's hard to go back. That sun is quite bright. Let's see if I have my sunglasses here with me today. Neat little cubby hole in your arm rest. Common failure point of the interior is the actual plastic button brakes. Now you can 3D print some retainer clips, although I've never actually perfected them. They fit kind of okay, but they make it very hard to click back down. So right now both armrests have the buttons. They're both broken. I've used a pen spring so that they actuate, but kind of gingerly open them and close them very carefully, you know. Miles to the gallon on this thing. Gas mileage is actually decent. After the intake manifold replacement, it seems to have gotten better. I can't explain that. The only thing I can tell you is the design of the newer intake manifold was a bit lower and definitely more modern than the older one that came off the vehicle. And the miles to the gallon on the highway has been about 25, 26. Around town, we're looking about 18 to 19. Truly not bad for a V8 that's got about 230, 240 horsepower. Vehicle this size with that added weight, probably to the wheels, you're getting about 210. More than enough for hauling the family around. But right now we're just kind of just driving around town. These are back roads of the country. And it's just quiet. It's a pleasure, you know. Compared to something like a Camaro or a Mustang where it's loud and it's in your face, it's just like, those are just a different car, you know. Those have a cult following, really. I mean, so do these. There are people that even like their own, Hyundai Elantras and whatnot, but with something of this nature, they are coming hard to find, and hard to find people that care about them. Usually when grandma dies, guess who gets the car? Grandson. Or granddaughter. They don't take care of anything. So that's it. I'm going to enjoy this nice quiet ride home. And enjoy the silence. Because when I get back, I've got 3 crazy kids to deal with anyway, so kind of nice to have an old grandma car where you can just let your mind slip away and think of nothing. We'll see you next time.